Right now, sitting in your fireplace, your recycling bin, and your kitchen trash, there are 3 completely free ingredients that can produce some of the darkest, richest compost your garden has ever seen. This video documents a 30-day wood ash compost experiment using nothing but cardboard and kitchen scraps. And the results are something most gardeners never expect from materials they were about to throw away. Follow every step in this video, and by day 30, you will have a finished batch of black gold ready to go straight into your beds. Before getting started, here's a complete list of everything needed to follow this method from beginning to end. You will need corrugated cardboard with no shiny or glossy coating, fully cooled wood ash from a fireplace or backyard fire pit, and a variety of kitchen scraps including vegetable peelings, coffee grounds, crushed eggshells, fruit waste, and tea bags. You will also need a compost bin, or a simple open-sided wooden pallet frame, a standard garden fork for turning, and a watering can or garden hose for moisture management throughout the process. Every one of these materials is either already at home or available at zero cost, which makes this one of the most accessible composting methods available to any home gardener. Choose a composting location that receives partial shade. A few hours of morning sun followed by afternoon shade works best. Full direct sunlight dries a pile out too quickly and reduces microbial activity, while deep shade removes the warmth needed to accelerate the breakdown of organic materials. Once the location is set, lay the first layer of corrugated cardboard directly on the ground, covering the entire base of the composting area with overlapping pieces. This bottom layer does 2 important things at once. It smothers any existing weeds or grass beneath the pile, and it acts as a slow-releasing carbon source that feeds beneficial soil microbes from day 1. Tear or cut each piece roughly to dinner plate size to help it decompose faster, and soak every piece thoroughly with water before adding the next layer on top. Spread a 2 to 3 inch layer of kitchen scraps directly on top of the wet cardboard base to create the nitrogen-rich green layer that powers the entire decomposition process. Use a variety of materials: vegetable peelings, fruit waste, coffee grounds, crushed eggshells, and tea bags all work well together and contribute different mineral profiles to the finished compost. Do not add meat, dairy, or anything cooked in oils, as these attract pests and create persistent odor problems that are difficult to correct once they develop in a backyard bin. Coffee grounds are especially effective in this layer because they introduce beneficial microbes and mild acidic compounds that help accelerate the earliest stages of breakdown. The wider the variety of scraps in this green layer, the more balanced and mineral-rich the finished compost will ultimately be. Wood ash is the ingredient that sets this compost recipe apart from a standard kitchen scrap pile, and it is one of the most underestimated amendments a home gardener can add to their composting system. Sprinkle a thin layer of fully cooled wood ash, approximately a 1/4 inch thick, directly over the kitchen scraps layer. Wood ash compost is naturally rich in calcium, potassium, and trace minerals that will transfer into the finished material and feed plant root systems directly when applied to garden beds. It also raises the pile's pH slightly, creating a more favorable environment for the beneficial bacteria doing all the decomposition work. Keep this layer thin, because too much ash applied at once can push the pile toward an overly alkaline condition that actually slows the process down, rather than accelerating it. Add a second layer of torn cardboard pieces directly on top of the wood ash to continue building the carbon-to-nitrogen balance the pile needs to work efficiently. A reliable guideline is roughly 2 parts brown material to 1 part green material by volume, and corrugated cardboard is one of the best brown materials available to a home gardener because it is free, clean, and decomposes completely without leaving any residue behind. Continue alternating layers of kitchen scraps, a dusting of wood ash, and torn cardboard until the entire pile reaches at least 3 feet in height. A pile that is too shallow will not generate the internal temperature needed to break down organic matter quickly or kill off any weed seeds present in the raw ingredients. Building height in the first session is one of the most important steps in setting this 30-day process up for success. Before getting into the maintenance phase and the day 30 results, if this method is already making sense for your garden, take a quick moment right now to tap the like button and hit subscribe. There are more step-by-step composting and soil building tutorials on this channel, and every video follows the same no-chemical, no-fuss approach you are watching right now. Subscribing is the easiest way to make sure the next one shows up in your feed automatically. Moisture is the single most important variable to manage during the first 2 weeks of this 30-day process, and getting it right from the start determines whether the pile heats up quickly or stalls out completely. The target moisture level throughout the pile should feel like a firmly wrung-out sponge. Damp and moist throughout the center, but not dripping when you press into it. Check moisture every 2 to 3 days during week 1 by pushing a garden fork into the pile and examining the material that comes back on the tines when you pull it out. If the material feels dry and crumbly, water the pile slowly in a circular motion until moisture reaches the center layers. If it feels soggy or heavy, add an extra layer of torn dry cardboard to absorb the excess and restore airflow through the pile. On day 7, use a garden fork to turn the entire pile from the outer edges toward the center, moving the cooler outside material inward to the warmer core where microbial activity is most intense. Outer layers decompose more slowly because they lack access to the internal heat being generated at the pile's center, so this single turning action exposes them to higher temperatures and restarts their breakdown. Repeat this same turning process on day 14, and take a moment to observe the visible transformation already underway inside the pile. The cardboard will be breaking into soft, dark fragments, the kitchen scraps will be largely unrecognizable, and the entire pile will have a clean, deep, earthy smell rather than anything sharp or unpleasant. That earthy smell is not an accident. It is a direct indicator that the right type of bacteria is thriving throughout your wood ash compost pile. By day 20, expect the pile to have dropped by 30 to 50% of its original height, and understand that this volume reduction is one of the clearest signs the process is working correctly. The shrinkage happens because organic matter is being actively broken down and compressed by microbial activity, releasing gases and moisture, as carbon bonds are converted into stable organic compounds. Give the pile one final full turn on day 20, and inspect the material carefully for any large pieces of cardboard or whole kitchen scraps that have not yet fully broken down. Move any unfinished pieces to the center of the pile where temperatures are highest, add a small amount of water if the moisture level feels low, and then leave the pile completely undisturbed for the final 10 days. Adding any fresh kitchen scraps at this late stage resets the decomposition clock and prevents the batch from fully maturing on schedule. On day 30, what started as a pile of cardboard sheets, kitchen peelings, coffee grounds, and a bowl of wood ash had become a rich, dark, crumbly soil amendment, nearly identical in appearance and texture to premium bagged compost from the garden center. The finished material measured roughly half the original pile volume, which is a completely normal and expected outcome of successful hot composting. The texture was loose, slightly spongy, and broke apart easily with no identifiable traces of the original ingredients remaining anywhere in the batch. A subtle gray mineral fleck distributed evenly throughout the finished material is a visual marker left behind by the wood ash, indicating the presence of potassium and calcium now embedded in the compost and ready to feed garden plants at the root level. This finished wood ash compost can be applied immediately or stored in a covered pile or sealed bin for up to 6 months without losing nutrient value. For raised beds, spread a 2 to 3 inch layer evenly across the entire bed surface and work it gently into the top 4 inches of existing soil before planting or transplanting seedlings. For container plants, replace up to 30% of existing potting mix with the finished compost and observe the change in leaf color and overall plant vigor over the following 2 to 3 weeks. A single 30-day batch produced in a standard 3-foot backyard compost bin generates enough finished material to amend approximately 8 to 10 square feet of raised bed space, making this one of the highest return soil building investments a home gardener can make from materials that cost absolutely nothing. Here is a complete summary of every step covered in this video. Start with a base of wet corrugated cardboard directly on the ground. Add a 2 to 3 inch layer of mixed kitchen scraps, sprinkle a thin 1/4 inch dusting of cooled wood ash on top, and repeat those 3 layers until the pile reaches 3 feet in height. Manage moisture to the consistency of a wrung-out sponge throughout the process. Turn the pile on day 7 and again on day 14, do a final inspection and turn on day 20, and then leave the pile completely undisturbed for the final 10 days. No special equipment, no chemical inputs, and no complicated process. Just 3 free materials layered in the right order and given 30 days to work, producing finished black gold that is ready to enrich any backyard garden bed. If this video showed you something genuinely useful for your garden, take a moment right now to hit the like button before you close out. Liking the video is one of the simplest ways to help other organic gardeners find this information, and it directly supports more content exactly like this on this channel. Click subscribe so you never miss a new tutorial, and drop a comment right now sharing what kitchen scraps you currently have the most of, or tell everyone what composting method you are already using at home. Every single comment gets read, and your question or personal experience might be exactly what the next video on this channel is built around.